Welcome back, Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, the premier podcast for sports, mainly football, and the tailgate, the best part of sports. I'm Peyton. That's Devin. Let's get into it. College football, what was it? Week three? It was week three.
It
It was interesting. It was very
was
interesting.
a good ass weekend for football.
I thought so. I agree. I concur. Um, to get into the games we picked, I don't think we did too bad. Maybe you did. You did better than I did because you picked
I did better
Miami.
than you. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, you did You picked Miami. We'll start with Miami, South Florida. I told you guys I was going to be wrong, but I just had to do it. Um, yeah, Miami is just talented. I think that's what you saw there, and you can only, sometimes it's not about the X's and O's; it's about the Jims and Joes. You know what I mean? So
Well, I don't even think it was necessarily like something like that. I thought South Florida played two teams that, and while they beat, those teams weren't as good as everyone was projecting them to be.
yeah, that is fair too. Um, I think South Florida will be okay. Like I think they're still one of the premier group of six teams, but
Yeah, I know they'll be fine, but like they actually played someone that was living up to the hype at that point. I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
never mind.
and Miami did what they were supposed to do. All right, we're going to jump into the next game, which I obviously remember was, hold on, it's going to come to me, Georgia, Tennessee. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Um, that game was wild. I think Tennessee is the better team. I think Tennessee fucked themselves. Um, I
I knew they lost when they missed that last field goal. It wasn't even at the false start. When they missed the last field goal, I was like, okay, they just lost the game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said too. I was like, they just lost the game.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee had a really good game plan. I don't think Georgia. I mean, I think they're both their offenses are really good, but I don't think Georgia's team altogether is as good as like people are saying, like top three team in the country this year. I could be completely wrong, and then Tennessee's just also like a top five team. Um, it's really hard to go into Neyland Stadium and win games. Like you saw how like rowdy and loud that crowd is. Like it's hard to go in
Yeah.
there for games. So it is impressive for Georgia to do so, find a way to pull it out. I just thought like throughout the game, I had a feeling that Tennessee was the better team. I think Tennessee's defense is a lot worse than Georgia's defense. Um, but I mean, overall, that's really just my impression is that it felt like throughout the game that I felt like Tennessee was the better team until they weren't.
Well, what up? Because they're up 35-30,
Hmm.
and they go and they kick that field or they force a fumble, recover the ball, basically already in field goal range, and then they don't do anything with that drive.
Hmm.
And then they let Georgia go down the field, not only score the touchdown on a free play, but dude's wide open on the 2-1 conversion.
Yep.
And for you to
They
march down the field and they take their time. They want it to be the last kick and all this stuff, but they just failed to get their guy in like a chip shot situation where he was just gonna be like, oh cool, I got it. Like looking on the sideline, you could tell that dude was not prepared for the moment. Not that he's not a good kicker, that's not what I'm saying. Mentally, he was just like,
Yeah, he was
oh
shitting his
fuck,
pants.
yeah, yeah. And then it's like as a coach, like you have to like be aware, hey, this guy's never done this before. This guy's gonna be nervous. I need to get him in the best position possible.
Yeah. I think it was poor game management at the end too. I think that definitely didn't help. But like the false start, yeah, it was like just icing on the cake. And then, that 5 extra yards that they had to kick it was probably what broke it. Like in this whole time he's in his brain, like, 31-yard field goal, whatever it was, like 40, whatever. I don't remember the numbers, but
It was like a 42 originally, and then he
yeah.
ended up having to make like a 47 to win it.
Yeah, he was like 42, 42, 42, 47. What? What? Oh, fuck. Like that stuff matters. And Yeah, I just felt like it was poor coach, a little bit of like a coaching blunder at the end. No, I mean nothing bad to take away from how great of a coach Josh Heupel is, but yeah, it was almost like the team was not ready for the moment, and God made sure they knew that.
Yeah, no, that one kind of
Yeah, that was crazy. The next game we'll get into, we'll wrap it up on Georgia Tennessee. I mean, I could probably talk a while on Georgia Tennessee, but the next game I want to get into is another all time like you weren't ready for the moment game, and that was the maybe the best 0-2 team we've ever seen. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. We both had Notre Dame. We both picked Tennessee before too, but we both had Notre Dame, and I was actually more confident in the Notre Dame pick. A&M's quarterback is really good, better than I thought he was, and so the fact that I mean, he willed that win at the end. But I mean, they Aiden was getting some, you know, some beneficial like no calls. Like I literally saw the defensive tackle for A&M get tackled on that game-winning play, and it was literally bad. Like he beat he beat the O lineman. The O lineman dove from behind him and grabbed his feet.
yeah, yeah. It's and I've noticed it. I don't know if it's always been like this. I'm literally just noticing it this year. But when they have these big time out of conference matchups, the away team brings their conference
Yeah, that's how
refs.
it always is. Big time out of
Okay.
conference.
And I was thinking about that. I was kind of like, that seems kind of wild, honestly.
It should be a neutral conferences refs. Like it should be like ACC refs repping an SEC versus Big Ten game.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like the hardest thing in the world to figure out how to do.
Yeah, like it's not like you're
Honestly, what would be the best solution? If
what
conferences stopped having refs.
I agree. I think it should be an NCAA refs.
An NCAA rep, you might call Georgia, Tennessee one week, and next week you're calling Kent State versus Buffalo. All right.
Yeah, it probably
Which
has
was
something
also
to do.
a
I
good game.
mean, the way college football is run, like it's so ridiculous. Like if you really looked into like the idea of how college football is run, like it would be like any person that has any form of like business, like conferences in general are businesses. So those are all jobs. But the NCAA, yeah, I really am like a proponent of like the way that college football is moving. I think the old conference model needs to be thrown out. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
A&M's quarterback is really good. A&M has a really explosive offense, like explosive. Talent everywhere. Their defense is coming along, but obviously, like Notre Dame's offense is really good, but I don't think they're like either of those defenses are at where they need to be. This new like concept of targeting is so egregious for defensive players. Like it happened to
Yeah.
OU players too. I get. I mean I'm okay with hitting a defenseless player, which I don't even think that makes any sense. Like it's football. That like at some point we got to play football. But I get it, like, safety, whatever. Um, but these like okay, if you're gonna hit somebody really hard and your natural instinct is to duck your fucking head, you know what that probably means? Probably means it's the safest way for your body to do that. It's funny when you I'm going on a rant again. When you were a kid, like
Another defensive round. Its defense is so hard.
I never said that. When you're a kid and you play sports, remember when you're tired and the coach is like, "Hey, don't bend over. You gotta let your lungs grow. So you gotta stand up straight, put your arms over your head. That's how you get air." And you are always doing that, and you're like, "This is so much worse. There's no way this is better for you than bending over." Guess what? They did research on it. Guess what? They said, "Hey, your body's telling you to bend over for air for a reason. So bend over for air." And in the same kind of idea, when you're going to have a heavy collision with someone and you duck your head, it's because that is hitting someone with your head up like like this, is way worse for your neck than it is doing it like this. But
Agreed. I'm not sure where this rant is going.
But okay, so my point is like they get mad when at the tail end in slow motion on a collision, you can see a guy duck his head, and they're like, "Oh, hit him with the crown of his helmet." It's a football play. Like it happens in such a split second that you really don't even realize you're hitting them with the crown of your helmet. And to penalize someone for doing something that's natural, but yeah, I just don't understand like offensive. It's not even offensive players. It happens all the time on defense. Like dudes will be pushing, push offs. Defensive players do it. Offensive players do it all the time. We don't throw flags for every push off. Why? Well, actually, this that makes less sense because the push off isn't natural. It's instinctual on maybe, but the natural thing to do when you're about to have a hard collision is to protect your body and tighten up and do all that. I don't think, and that's not even the most egregious one. Like what happened with the Michigan linebacker week one and OU's defensive edge rusher, R. Mason Thomas this week. They come around the edge and they hit the quarterback face up. They don't drive into his chest. They just come around and you hit a 5'11 quarterback at face up because he's a midget and you're hitting him like you would hit a normal person, but he's just short, so you hit him high, and throwing a flag on that is incredibly. And it's not even these like. I think targeting should call itself. Like I think that you should see if you have to go back and be like, was that targeting? Let me see. Probably means it wasn't violent enough to warrant throwing someone out of a game. And that's another thing. If you want to call all these targetings, then it needs to be like the old pass interference rule, where there was like an unintentional pass interference and then there was personal foul pass interference. Back in the day, it needs to be like that, where you have okay, he targeted 10-yard penalty or 15 or whatever, but it's not intentional, so we're not going to throw him out of the game. Then you have this guy was trying to kill this person, we should remove him from the football game because these dudes are getting kicked out of the football game for doing what their coaches tell them to do and making football plays, and it's ridiculous.
I don't disagree with you 100%.
You shut up. You actually, we're not even going to listen to your opinion on this because you don't. Your opinion doesn't
I,
matter.
I don't think I just at some point you do have to do something to protect the players, and it's not perfect. I agree, it's not perfect, but
How much money? These dudes make $3 million a year. I get paid 4 cents an hour to walk over the landmines. Shut the fuck up about protecting plate. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
you picked the wrong career. All right, you should have been
I'm just
taller.
I'm
Right,
not
whose fault is
6 foot
that?
or
Yours.
fast. Um, yeah, no, I mean I get the whole protect the players point. Like I get it, but and this is my other concept with is this is my other beef with it is like okay, protect the players to elongate their careers, whatever, protect them from having irreversible damage. But all these players are going to have no knees by the time they're 30. We're not protecting them from that. All these players are going to have no knees by the and when they're not going to be able to run with their kids when they're 40. So I
I mean,
think
I
that
think that's a much bigger sacrifice that, like, if you told me right now, hey, Devin, we'll take you back in time. You're going to be a great college football player. Maybe you'll get to the NFL. I don't know. You better be really good, though. I'm going to say you're going to have a great college career, but your knees are going to hurt. I'm going to be like, I'm 32 right now. My knees are already starting to hurt. Fuck that. Let's go. As long as I don't have brain damage, let's fucking go.
yeah, but you like the research on brain damage is like you have brain damage from fucking listening to what's that woman's name? Ellen DeGeneres speak. Like you get brain damage from anything, Like I think that I don't know,
I,
maybe
I, would, I don't think doing literally anything else is going to equate to the CTE I'm going to get from a potential professional football career. So I think there's a
You'd be
kind of hard
surprised.
comparison there.
Have you ever tried headbutting a wall over and over and over again?
Well, no, I'm not a fucking idiot.
Well, that hurts. I'm, okay, so we'll move on from that. But yeah, I just think that I think that there's a way to fix the targeting. I just think it takes someone that's actually like understands like the concept of football to fix the targeting. Like there has to be a way where you maintain safety for the most part, but understand that you're playing a violent sport while also not completely favoring everything for offensive players. Because that's really what every rule is at this point. It's just, oh well, offensive players. And then the problem is targeting isn't called consistent. It's not a consistent across the line call. It's like whoever's in the booth is gonna
It,
decide.
it's up to, open to whoever's interpreting it is the
And
issue.
it's so ridiculous. And that's my issue with most rules is in football is like it shouldn't really be open for interpretation because went on my ref rant last week, but that you eliminate it if you make clear and defined like, hey, this is targeting, this is not targeting, this is targeting, this is not targeting. Anyway, um, the next game we picked,
Arkansas, Ole Miss.
Arkansas Ole Miss. That's right, Arkansas Ole Miss. Arkansas won, right?
Nope.
What am I thinking of?
We picked them.
Oh, we picked them. Okay, that's right. Um, yeah, I didn't see that coming to be honest. But I also thought Ole Miss's quarterback was hurt, and he isn't hurt.
No, he was hurt, but he was a game time decision.
Yeah, okay,
And
okay, okay. Yeah, he played. He's good. The Ole Miss quarterback is good. I don't think he's as good as I thought he was going to be. He's definitely a downgrade from Jackson Dart, but that dude's a first round pick, so
yeah.
obviously. I think I'm just so used to Lane Kiffin quarterbacks being good. Like every quarterback Lane Kiffin has just turns on something. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Arkansas lost. Um, but I for some reason I guess I was just low on Ole Miss. Um,
I'm always low on Ole Miss.
I was hoping Ole Miss wasn't as good as everyone was saying because they're on OU's schedule, and I was hoping for an easy game at some point. But
Oh, we're gonna tear it up.
yeah, we don't want the easy path, and by we I mean the players that play the game, and I have no relation to them, and I don't even know what they want. But I'm gonna be like every OU fan and pretend like I'm part of this team.
We as a team need to do this. First of all, Becky, you've never even gone to the university.
Well, that doesn't matter. I've had this discussion. You don't have to go to the school, but my big beef is when OU on OU Twitter is the worst OU fans that exist.
Yeah.
They're so
I will say
terrible.
OU fans are better than some of the other blue bloods, but OU Twitter is definitely the worst spot for
Yeah,
OU
OU
fans.
Twitter for OU fan for to find OU fans, terrible place. And on top of that, my least favorite thing is when they every time they tweet something, they always capitalize OU in every word. So like if OU are next to each other, they'll capitalize it, and I'm just like, God, this is
It's
no
a little
wonder
too
OU's education is like 48th in the country. Um, um, yeah, but yeah, so Ole Miss, Arkansas, that was Um, I was actually very shocked that Arkansas didn't win. I thought Talon Green was his name, but I said Talon Wallace last week, and I realized like as I was editing this video that his name or the last week's video I should say that his name was Talon Green. So big sorry to Talon Green.
yeah, you piece of shit.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Not
again,
not failing you. You're a piece of shit.
that's fair. I would say that that's a fair thing to say to me. I shouldn't have called him the wrong name,
Mhm.
is what I'll say. Like, why would you call him the wrong name? One thing I will say about this game is OU is OU, LSU, Texas, and there's one other team in the SEC that I was thinking of that I can't think of right now. Those are like them, and there's one more team. No, two more teams. Vanderbilt, and there's one more team after that I don't remember. Their defenses are all good. The rest of the SEC defenses are just not living up to what I remember them being in years past. Like Ole Miss, Arkansas was a high scoring game. Obviously, you saw Georgia, Tennessee, and maybe that just means the SEC is like 12 deep this year, which people are saying they are, but I don't know.
No, it's the typical SEC bullshit.
Oh, South Carolina's defense was supposed to be good, but they're not as good as I thought they were going to.
Yeah, no, it's the typical SEC bullshit. Oh, we're the best conference ever, and losing to a 6-6 SEC team is better than losing to a 10-2 ACC team. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's we all know that's not true.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, even within conferences, you can see like Colorado versus BYU last year. Like I think they went to the Alamo Dome with both the same record, and BYU beat the shit out of Colorado because Colorado didn't play anybody in their own conference.
yeah, that's true. Good point.
So it's that's that thing they do where they got to hype everybody up and like, oh, we all hate each other, but we hype each other up so that way we look better at the end of the year. We can go make a playoff run. It's like, no, it's not true. Be quiet. Shut up. They actually are just a mid team. Not that like the top two or three teams aren't like some of the best in the country or are the best in the country, but those mid teams are just mid. It's the way it is. And with NIL being a thing now, you know, Georgia isn't stacked for the next 6 years. They gotta keep bringing players in every year and
Yep,
stuff like that.
couldn't agree more. I mean, Georgia has some weapons like Zachariah Branch. Number one for them is just a freak athlete. That dude's so
Yeah.
fast. The last game I think is Clemson, Georgia Tech.
Did we go? Oh yeah, because you flipped it. Yeah, Clemson, Georgia Tech, which was a fantastic game to
Yeah.
watch. At least
Clemson
the ending was.
is crying right now. Georgia Tech might. It's going to be Georgia Tech, Miami, or at Florida State. So the ACC this year is good because you got Georgia Tech, you got Florida State, allegedly Clemson. We are waiting to see. You have Miami,
Mm-hmm.
then you have SMU and like Stanford or Cal. I don't know. I can't remember all of the teams because it doesn't my brain geographically goes somewhere, and then I'm like, wait, those Pacific teams are in the Atlantic. Okay, whatever. So Georgia Tech. I mean, we said this like it's just smash mouth football. Like Haynes King should be in the Heisman conversation, and I think he will. I won't be surprised. Actually, I'd be surprised if he was not at this rate. Granted, it's a whole season to play, but at
Right.
this rate, if he continues the trend of how he's playing, I would be very surprised if he's not in New York at the end of the year as a top four candidate. You know what I mean? Um, I think it's gonna might be hard because Georgia Tech just doesn't get a lot of prime time, but geez, that man is good. He's good in like a weird way. I don't think he's a good. Okay, he's a good quarterback, I should say. I don't think he's like next level good quarterback. I think he reminds me in a lot of ways of Tim Tebow.
Yeah. Not the greatest quarterback in the world, but he's the guy you want to touch the ball first.
Yeah, you're just like he's a football. It's like what I'll get into this a little bit later, but it's like what people say about Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield has a cannon and a great arm and a great accuracy. But it's like, is he the best quarterback in the NFL? No. But is there another quarterback that I would want to play with over Baker Mayfield? Also, probably not. He just has like this weird moxie that like rallies
I
It's
forgot who it was, but there was somebody they interviewed this week. I forgot where they did it. So that's me being stupid. But I just kind of saw it off it. But someone talking about playing with Baker Mayfield, and he's like, if I had to go to a dark alley and come out shooting, I would go with Baker Mayfield.
yeah, I don't
And I
really
was like,
know much about that. I would have to see Mayfield's weapons handling, how good he is at a quick draw.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He's going to be there. That's your dog right
I
there.
want to see his. I want to see his what his qualification score is beforehand.
Would you give him a gun or would you have him throw grenades?
Yo, getting beamed by a 78 mile. Well, actually, he probably throws really hard because he was a pitcher in baseball. I think. Yeah, getting beamed by a grenade, lights out, Charlie. Um. Okay, we'll move on to. All right, that was last week in college football. Any actually before we move on from last week of college football, it's time for our favorite segment,
Oh,
the No Bitches Team of the Week.
I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. UCLA is the no bitches team of the week. Tried to let it slide with their loss to UNLV last week. Proof's in the pudding. Coach got fired for going 0-3. It's open and shut case.
Thank you, Ray. Again, we're gonna get Ray on the pod. He will be on the pod with you when I'm gone, I think.
yeah.
But I want to bring Ray into the pod, like where we're all three here, because I think Ray deserves that. But we do have a guest. We're gonna get eventually. We're gonna get to guests, and we have one person we have to bring on before we bring on Ray. But Ray is high priority list right now. Um, yeah, UCLA is like one of the reasons the Pac-12 fell apart. So it's kind of magical to watch UCLA pay money to all these people and then just eat turd after turd. Also, another team, I'm going to bring them up really quick. I won't get too much into it. Remember when I was like, maybe I'm wrong? I was wrong about UNLV. I'm never wrong. I was right about UNLV. They are good.
Kansas State.
I was wrong about Kansas State, but Midwestern teams are a different story. It's not my fault.
Just want to make sure we bring down that ego just a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Um, yeah, UCLA is they're not good,
They're garbage.
and they are like running like. Have you seen the play where what was it? It doesn't even matter. I'm not even going to get into it too much. Actually, but the Nico guy, quarterback that they paid $500,000. It is so funny to remember when he said, "I came here because for football reasons," aka like I came here because this is a better football school.
Yep.
It is so funny to think back
And
on.
Tennessee lost their game this week, and they look like a playoff contender from it.
Yeah, yeah. Tennessee's probably watching him play quarterback at UCLA and be like, "Thank God we tried to get him to stay and he didn't."
Yep.
So
I'm sure every time Tennessee has a bad game this year, the fans are just going to turn on UCLA highlights and just be like, "This is great."
yeah, low lights because the highlights are hard to come by. Um,
Yep.
all right. Those are no bitches team of the week. UCLA has no bitches. Will they be like
Trash.
Armin and go get their bitches back? Tune in next week to find out. Um, week week 4, college football. Moving on to that. So I'm so tired that I don't even like I'm just operating on autopilot right now. So I'm like uh hoping
You
God
can't even count that good when you're like rested.
huh?
You can't even count that good when you're rested.
I'm the best counter you've ever met in your life. Moving on. You don't even know about counting. You know how many things I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not allowed to get into it, but let's just say I count a lot. Um
All you do, talking about counting. Never seen it.
um okay, college football games for this week. The first game we're gonna talk about, Texas Tech, Utah, 16 versus 17, ranked matchup, Big 12. It is in Utah, I believe.
I believe so as well.
Um, the Utah coach is great. The Texas Tech head coach is also great. He's kind of like a Texas high school football legend. Um, Tech's a good team. Utah's a good team. This could be a kind of like an early preview of what their conference championship game might look like, especially after Arizona State took that fat L against Mississippi State. But granted, that doesn't play into conference, but it just kind of gives you a parameter of where individual teams are at. So I, it's really hard for me to pick against Utah or pick Texas Tech because I just don't like Texas Tech. Even though I should not care. I think it's in Utah though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Devin, we're gonna change it up. Who's your pick?
I know Utah is like everybody's favorite is a pretty big favorite for this one, and both teams have looked really good so far for what they've played.
Yeah, well, one team paid a lot and one team hates Mormons, I think.
Finally got over Cam Rising, so
Huh?
they could build a team.
You said what?
Their quarterback that they had for like 3 or 4 years, Cam Rising, who just constantly was hurt, 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 hurt.
Well, also on top of Cam Rising was in college football for 8 years.
Yeah, but every year he would just get they'd be like, here's our starting quarterback, and then he gets hurt, and then you're like,
And they're like,
all
yeah,
right, we'll have him for next year, and then he gets hurt next year, and you're just like,
yeah,
okay, and then they would just never progress. So they got Dampier from New Mexico, who
yep.
was a dog. So I think I want Utah just because they're home. That's where I'm at.
I was really hoping you were gonna pick Texas Tech because I wanted to pick Utah, but I told myself before the pick, I'm picking opposite of you, so I'm picking Texas Tech. Um, I mean, Tech is good. I don't think their quarterback is as good as the Utah quarterback, but I also think they have more weapons than the Utah does. So it's just going to be a good battle. I'd be pleasantly wrong. I don't. I would rather Utah win, but I'm going to pick Texas Tech. So I hope I'm wrong. Probably with my track record, I'm probably wrong.
You're
So
3-11 in college picks right now.
yeah, it happened. I also be picking with my heart, not my mind. I'd be using this big puppy right here. Um, okay, so the next game, Oklahoma, Auburn. Jackson Arnold returns to Norman. To I hope not booze. But it'll probably be to booze. You
There'll
know,
be
I know.
some dumbasses doing for sure, but I think for the most part, most people are like, no, we get it. Like you kind of got fucked.
Yeah, you say that, and then we're. This is also the same university that boozed their starting quarterback in the biggest game of their lives. I wouldn't. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I think this one is I think Oklahoma's offense has the edge against Auburn's defense. Auburn's defense is really good. I'm not saying it's a big edge, but I'm saying it's a big enough edge to put up points. And I think Oklahoma's defense is the best defense in the country, so they have the edge on every offense. I think what Auburn is going to have success with is that quarterback run game. Um, Auburn, Jackson Arnold is sneaky athletic. I don't know if it's sneaky anymore, but he is a good runner. People for some reason think he's not, but he is a good runner. And he was
He's
more
a
of
great
an
runner. Honestly,
he
he's a better runner than he is a thrower.
yeah. And he was more so a dual threat quarterback out of high school than he was a pocket passer. And I don't remember if I think they listed him as a pocket passer though for some unknown reason. But he is a very good runner. He's very similar running the ball wise. Okay, I don't want to say similar because it's not, but the way he can read and run, kind of hit holes like a running back does, it's similar to John Mateer. Um, I think John Mateer does everything Jackson Arnold does, but a little bit better. Except throwing the ball, he does even better than that. I don't know. I don't see the only way Auburn wins this game is if they get their passing game and they have incredible athletes out at wide receiver. So they got to get their passing game rolling in order for them to win this game. I don't know if that's going to happen against OU's defense. I'm not saying that it can't happen against another defense. I just don't see you having enough time while only keeping in 5 or 6 to have routes develop to where OU can.
Yeah, I don't see a world where OU doesn't send 6 guys every time. You
Well,
got
they won't, but that's sending 6 every time is batshit crazy. But
well, they're going to send 6 guys a lot. They're going to say because Jackson Arnold is going to struggle to throw the ball.
so what OU does, and they don't send 6, but they make you have to account for 7 or 8 guys off rip.
And then
They
someone
have
gets missed because the
they
guy that you
have
thought you
8, 9 in the box sometimes.
yeah.
And then they drop, and they have crazy good athletes that can drop out and cover in space and make up ground that playing at the line of scrimmage. Like the way you have to bail out when you're covering a zone from pinched in on the line of scrimmage as opposed to being out as a backer, stack, offset off the line. It's a lot more of I got to get there and get there fast. But it also, when you're playing a quarterback like Jackson Arnold, it can create mistakes, create interceptions. That's what Brent Venables' defenses are known for. We haven't gotten any picks. They haven't gotten any interceptions, no turnovers yet. But there's been a lot of turnover-worthy plays. I just don't think the team has capitalized on it yet. I imagine they do this week. Jackson Arnold hasn't turned the ball over. Um, that's really good for him. He's doing all the right things. But I just see OU's defense. I see OU overwhelming them a little bit. They're coming to Norman, but it's going to be a good game regardless. So I got OU. You have
OU, yeah, easy OU. I think this one. When I was looking at the stats earlier, OU hasn't given up over 100 yards passing. Or excuse me, they haven't given up 100 yards in passing. So they have one of the best passing defenses in the country.
Yeah, well, that's not even because they are so great at covering, which they are. They do have really good cover guys.
No, but they're
Because
getting pressure so
there's
quickly.
no time to throw the ball. There's no time to
Yeah, there's no
develop
time to
a
throw the ball. Jackson Arnold's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm back at Oklahoma. It's 2024. I'm back at Oklahoma. There's no time to throw the ball. I need to make this. They're gonna force fumbles. They're gonna force hits. They're gonna force mistakes." Um, I think Auburn is giving up a little over 200, about 226 a game in the air. So I think the passing game is going to be there for Oklahoma. And if the passing game is going to be there, the draws and the QB scrambles and the QB plays are going to be there. So I think it stays pretty consistent for Oklahoma and they're going to win.
I just hope Oklahoma will do its darndest to lighten the workload off of Dominic Duke this week. We're going to need him to be ready to go 2 weeks for Texas because that defense is legit. So moving forward, we're going to get into James Madison Liberty. Kind of an offshoot pick, I think. But I'm excited for this game. It's like a big group of 6 game. It's kind of like a little rivalry with Liberty and James Madison. Liberty hasn't been as good this year as like everyone thought they were going to be. Um, and for that reason, I'm going to take James Madison. I think James Madison has been decent. They weren't as good as they were 2 years ago, or they're not as good as they were 2 years ago. Um, Last year they were pretty good. I mean, they're still decent, a good group of 6 team. I could see them, making a run for their conference, making a run for the playoff. But more so than that, I think they're going to win this game. Sunbelt, Texas. These guys are vying for a spot against Texas State.
Just because I don't do that much, I'm gonna pick Liberty.
James Madison, Liberty. Okay, I like it. I like it. This is the
Liberty's the
kind of
home team, and these kind of games get real wonky at this level, like extra wonky. So I think I'm taking Liberty.
yeah. I mean, hey, you can do what you want. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying that I think I'm smarter than you, and I'm picking the other team. I'm just joking.
I know that's not true, which is why I'm disagreeing.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what game we should have talked about? SMU TCU, but we're not going to talk about it. So don't worry.
I don't think that game's going to be as fun as we think it is. I mean, yeah, it's a rivalry game. Maybe. Who knows? We'll
Yeah.
see.
The
They're gonna
next
be
game is
great.
Illinois versus Indiana.
First of all, is Illinois really ranked in the top 10 right now?
Yeah, I mean they look good. I mean the Big Ten is a good conference. We got a Big Ten slate this week. We got a couple Big Ten games. Illinois, Indiana. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna pick Illinois. Indiana is a good team. The coach is really good. I just think Illinois has a better rounded team. Um, and I just don't see Indiana repeating the magic of last year. They're going to be really good, but I'm taking Illinois.
I think Indiana lost a bunch of players to the
They
portal
did,
this year.
yes, but
Yeah,
they're
they lost.
still a good team. Like the coach does a great job. They're a good
Yeah,
team.
the coach is doing a good job, but they did lose a bunch of players. Shout out to Dustin. I'm gonna take Illinois. I'm gonna take Illinois. I think they got this one.
Who's Dustin?
Dustin's my homeboy. He followed all my streams. All right, I play football with him.
You played football with him
Yeah,
for the
college
Valley
football,
Vikings,
25, 26, and 14.
and oh, I thought you meant like real football.
No, I play real man's football, which is on the Xbox.
They're screaming. By the way, my football practices for my team start Friday.
For a game that happens in October.
No, these are for the. This is for the post team. Like we play post tournament. I don't know. 40 dudes signed up to be on the team. We can only take 16, so we'll see if I make the cut.
If you don't make the cut, then we're ending the podcast.
The next game is the Bussin' Bowl. Michigan, Nebraska. I've got Michigan by a lot. Nebraska is a good team. Nebraska's done what they're supposed to do. They've taken care of the scrubs they played in good fashion. Matt Rule's a really good coach. I think Matt Rule's the better coach in this game. I just like Ben Poggi a lot. The guy, when he was like, "Are we sure Underwood's not Batman?" We're doing a DNA test. Like a DNA test would come out and say he's Batman. It wouldn't say he's Bruce Wayne because you wouldn't be able to find out if he was Batman through a DNA test. But regardless, I got what Poggi was saying. I would take Michigan in this. I think Michigan is really good. I think when they played Oklahoma, it was a little too early to be playing that good of a team, and I think that just goes to show how good Oklahoma is. I think
Yeah.
Oklahoma was a really good team. It was early on, so I'm gonna take Michigan. I think it's gonna be a tight game. I think it's gonna be like by between 7 and 3 points is what the game's decided by. So I'm taking Michigan though. I just think that Bryce Underwood is confident. He got his confidence back last week. I don't think he ever lost it. I think Bryce Underwood was one of those guys that whole Oklahoma game he was not phased in the way they just weren't calling plays and he didn't have the time to read to make the plays he wanted to make. So I don't think his confidence was rattled. I just think he was sitting there like, yeah, this shit's not happening. so
Yeah.
so I'm gonna take Michigan, but that doesn't mean I think Nebraska is a good team. I think Nebraska could be right here in a few weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks when they start getting into their schedule and beating all these other teams.
I'm losing you. I'm losing you on the lag. 1 second. Good.
I'm trying to see if I'm lagging. I don't a little, I guess. I don't know.
You seem fine now, but you were just doing the weird glitch thing, and then your audio was
Yeah, my
like.
problem is I'm like so tired that I'm rocking back and forth, which is terrible for visuals. Yeah, I'm dying. I was spending like 12 hours out in the sun today, and that's after I did like I ran our PT session this morning, and we have some people that I think are out of shape. So when I run PT, I make it absolutely miserable for them because I want to see them hate themselves. Because that's how you get better. You have to hate yourself first to get better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. So anyway, um, good dudes though. They're all good people. I'm not saying they're bad people. I want them to hate what they look at in the mirror. Anyway, um,
I'm picking
They,
Michigan too.
huh?
I'm picking
Michigan?
Michigan too.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. That's going to be a good game, too. There's a lot of good games again this weekend. This is why I love college football.
Yeah.
All
And there's a
right.
lot of good games that end up being good games that you didn't know were going to be good games. You're just kind of like, oh shit, that was a good game.
Yeah. Our team, UTRGV, they dog walked a terrible NAIA team. I was watching the game. I was like, this is
I don't think anybody expected that to be a good game.
no. I think people are just surprised that UTRGV is like decently competent for an FCS team. And so they schedule all these shitty schools because they're like, well, FC, when we start a football program, they usually suck for a couple years. So we got to schedule shitty teams to sell tickets. And but they use the transfer portal like everybody else and they're decent. So now they're like playing these teams that they shouldn't be playing and just absolutely murdering them. And it's very sad, but funny to watch. Moving on, that we're getting into the NFL. NFL last week, some good games. I was right on my Bucks pick, and I was right on my Chargers pick. Did I pick the Chargers or the Raiders?
You pick Chargers.
Yeah, I was right on my Chargers, Raiders, or my Chargers and my Bucks pick. I was right on one more game, and I missed two. I missed because I missed on Green Bay, and I missed on
We both picked the Eagles over the Chiefs.
who? What was the other game then?
We both picked Jaguars over Indianapolis. Or sorry, Jaguars over
Bengals.
Cincy. Yeah. And then we both picked the Broncos over Indianapolis, and then we split Washington, Green Bay. I got Green Bay.
Nice. Okay. So we both picked the Broncos over the Colts.
Yep.
Why did I think I got that one right? Dude, I was so off. Okay, moving forward. Um the games I don't watch the NFL as much as I watch college football.
Right.
That being said, I watched the both the Monday night football games.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the who was it? The Steelers played the Jets? No. Some the Jets played the Bills.
Something like that.
Yeah, I watched that one. I watched a few. I watched a few. I watched the Jaguars game. And I did not catch the Colts Broncos game because I could not find that game in my area. I watched the Cowboys game. Um, that one was impressive. I thought
Russell
that,
Wilson just being like, what year is it? 2013? Got it.
huh?
Russell Wilson was like, hey, it's 2013 again, right? I got it.
Yeah, never send an apology to Russell Wilson again. I almost made a video right after that being like, hey, this is Peyton from Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, and it's still fuck you, Russell Wilson.
No, I
but
will apologize. I didn't realize he still had 500-yard games in him. I was like, no, he's cooked. He's absolutely done. Which I'm sure in the next week he's going to be back to, throwing shit and
he
scoring
has
7
good
points.
games, and he does, and he'll make an. Here's the thing about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson will make the most incredible 5 yard completion you've ever seen in your life. But here's also what I'll say about this game. Dallas is weird because they can compete with the really good teams, and they are going to get fucking scared by all the really bad teams in this league. I don't think the Giants are really bad, though. I think the Giants are better than people thought. I think they have a run game. I think Cam Scatabo should start for the Giants. And they have the weapons to make all of it work. And their defense is good enough, right? They're not going to be a playoff team, but they're going to be a tough game for a lot of teams.
Right.
Atlanta looks to be very good. I was very surprised by a lot of teams this week. Getting into our picks, I think Green Bay is the best team in the NFL. I picked Washington. I picked Washington because I didn't think they were, and then I was humbled very quickly.
Yep.
Bengals are cooked. They're not gonna have Joe Burrow for like 3 months. And that being said, like there's a lot of teams that are gonna be missing their quarterbacks moving forward. The one quarterback who I'm gonna get into this because we're gonna talk about this week in the NFL. Now it's time to get into it. The one quarterback who I saw Baker Mayfield. We all saw what happened. He got hurt. His knee and his ankle were hurting. And I was like, oh, that's another quarterback for the week. And then this dude is healed by the shit talk. He puts that shit
Healed.
talk into his veins. He was hurt on the ground, grabbing his knee, like, oh no. And I was like, ooh, this is bad. And CJ Gardner Johnson was like, yeah, said some talk shit to him because he was on the ground hurt. And Baker Mayfield was like, nah, fuck it, I'm good. I'm good. He's like, he stood up and immediately was like, whoa. And I was like, there's no way this dude is like throbbing on the ground, like, oh no, this hurts. And immediately transitions into
The moment was so because I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. The moment was so bad for me sitting there and going, watching him run because I have him on my fantasy team, watching him get the first down and me going, let's go. And then he goes and he grabs his ankle and I just go, no. And then he just like Jesus on the third day.
he rose again. Inshallah, brother. The funniest thing about that whole process is that it's it's just like I've never seen an individual be fueled by rage at the quarterback position like that.
I mean, it's the epitome of what Baker Mayfield is. It's like he's not the best guy to do everything. He's still really good.
Yeah,
He's still really
you're not
good.
missing
But
much if you're missing anything.
yeah, but he's such a I'm going to get this done. It's those terrible war stories you hear where the guy's like he got shot 14 times but still managed to crawl into the bunker and drop a grenade on the enemy machine gun nest. It's like Baker Mayfield will do that for you. Okay, he's beat up, he's bruised, he's not the fastest guy, he's not going to be the strongest guy, but god damn it, he's going to get a grenade in that fucking
Yeah,
bunker.
but here's a testament to that though. He's not fast, but he's very laterally quick
Yeah,
and shift. That makes for a shifty tackle. Like throwing your center off of some guy that thinks he's got a slow target teed up, and you're like, whoop, like that's enough. And then to the point of
well,
strong.
I think he's faster than he looks, and he's also stronger than he looks because he'll put some guys
I
out of his way. Like,
mean,
hey, I'm
Baker
actually running this
Mayfield,
ball.
Baker Mayfield definitely be squat. That dude's got some squad, some leg strength. Because what I'll tell you this, the muscle you use to break a tackle when a guy's hanging on you is all ass and quads, and it's all ass, quads, and hamstring.
Are you
You're
calling?
you when you're
You saying Baker
using
Mayfield be thick as fuck?
I'm no, I'm
That
not
sounds
saying
like
that.
what you're saying.
No, I'm saying as a guy who knows, who also is an avid squatter, the muscle you use to break tackles is going to be your ass, your quads, and your hamstrings. And when you can break tackles the way Baker Mayfield breaks tackles, I'm saying that means that the dude definitely has strong legs. I don't know what the squat number is. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in like the mid 400s, maybe even up into the 500s.
Get him on the podcast. Ask him.
Yeah, if I had Baker Mayfield on the podcast, I'd be like, "What's your squat? Let me see a shirtless pic." No, I'm joking. um, yeah, I mean, like some of the tackles that he shakes off, especially when his legs are fresh and he doesn't have dudes constantly trying to rip his knees apart. CJ Gardner Johnson, which I respect for doing that because as a guy that is how I tackled people. Game respect game. Um, this dude, yeah, he just I think like when you watch him play, like the tackles he shakes, like people will be like, oh, he just has really good balance. I'm like, yeah, but if a dude that can't carry any weight has really good balance and a 300-pound guy starts pulling on him, what's going to happen? He's going to have not good balance. You have to have some very good strong legs for that. That's all I was saying. I wasn't saying anything crazy. I was just saying like people would be like, oh, he's not that strong. I'm like,
Well,
the
you heard it
balance
here first. Peyton says Baker Mayfield got to be thick as fuck.
He might be.
Quote,
And
quote it.
yeah, we're not going to get into that. Okay, we're going to move into next week's games. I had a problem. I had a problem this week of finding NFL games that I was intrigued in because that's usually what I do. Is I go through the schedule, I look at the games, saying that game's interesting. That game's interesting, and I just think there's a lot of games this week that aren't very interesting. There are some interesting games, so I'm gonna get into the games that I found the most interesting, and there were some games that were more interesting, but I decided to pick three. I tried to pick some teams that we hadn't really talked about yet.
Yeah, fuck the Eagles.
Yeah, we were gonna pick the Eagles Rams game because that's gonna be a really good game. Actually, you know what? We're gonna throw them into. We'll pick the Eagles Rams too. I'm taking. I'm gonna take the Rams.
Right there with you.
I
Birds cry.
I think not and for anything bad. I don't think that it's detrimental. I just think that the Eagles like drop a game every year to a really good team. So if the Eagles, I would rather the Eagles win this week because they win this week. I'm almost confident they're losing to the Buccaneers next week. But the Eagles are a really good team. I think again their defense lacks. I think where their defense is suspect is the passing game, and for that reason, that's why I'm picking the Rams because the Rams are lighting it up in the passing game.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford, I said, oh, I don't know, man, throws like he has a hurt back. He told me to shut the fuck up. I mean, he recovered really fast. Like from when I first saw him throw, like he got better quick. So, that's why there's doctors that get paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, because they know better than me. Um,
Which medical training do you have?
Actually, you'd be surprised.
Can
I'm
you do
just
back
saying,
surgery?
huh?
Can you do back surgery?
I mean, I can put a stent on somebody and stabilize their back from
Sounds like
paralyzing.
you shut the fuck up then.
That's kind of the same.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah. I can decompress open chest wounds. I can seal open chest wounds. I can do a lot of things. Um, the next game is going to be the Texans Jaguars. The only reason I picked this game is because the Jaguars are starting to have a little turmoil. By the way, I don't think Travis Hunter needs to be playing both ways. I think they need to tell him to shut the fuck up and play defense.
yeah, no, they're trying to keep that thing interesting for him, but it's just like, hey, dude, like I haven't seen a Travis Hunter highlight.
Yeah,
I
he
haven't
makes
seen one highlight.
he's
I
a
know he's
beast.
had a couple of good. I know he's had a couple of catches. I know he's missed a ton of tackles.
My thing
Yeah,
is he's if he's not devote like everyone told him it's going to be really hard to do this at the next level, and he was like, "No one's ever been me." And I'm like, "Yeah, there's been a ton of two-way football players. Jabril Peppers was a monster at Michigan, a
yep,
monster at Michigan, total game changer. Oh, by the way, his Michigan team was pretty good too, better than your Colorado team. I'll tell you that much."
yeah,
So to sit there and pretend that you're different than everybody else. Like Deion Sanders entered the league and he played one side of the ball until he figured it out and then he moved to play wide receiver on select plays because he was just so fast. It didn't make sense to not put him out there and have him beat everyone on a fade or a vertical. Like this is the thing is like, is Travis Hunter the fastest guy on the field at any one time? No, he's not. He's super instinctual on the defensive side of the ball. He's got good hands. He he's very twitchy athletic, so it makes for the ability to run incredible routes and get open and find space. And he's smart, so he knows defenses, so he knows where to go when they're running what certain things. But the thing about NFL defenses is there's no and their college defenses are simple. College defenses are very complicated and they're simple compared to NFL defenses because
yeah.
there's no one play where they're just running base cover three. There's no one play they're constantly running things like they have to confuse. So even if they do run base cover three, right? It didn't. Your pre-snap read said it was man coverage. or your pre-snap read said it was cover two, and they're rolling into these things, right? So I just feel like put him on the defensive side of the ball. Let him get really good at that because that's where he's going to be make the most benefit. You can find receivers that can catch 3 catches a game. You can't find lockdown corners to save your life in the NFL. That is the number one thing. If you can get a guy that can line up on a number one and say, you're not going to make any plays today, that is the most important thing you can have on a defensive side of the ball besides a incredible pass rush, which negates your need for a corner, right? But if you can take away a number one, you have a really good chance. And the fact that his development is going to be stunted because he can't put his pride to the side and say, hey, I should be really good at this and then I'll come back to this is just
Well,
insane.
anytime you hear former players talk about like, hey, we had practice, we did the group meeting, we went over all the film, and then we broke down into groups. How do you do both groups in the NFL?
Well,
You're
I
missing
think right
you're
now,
missing meetings at some point.
yeah, I think right now the problem is like the coaches are all going to have to work extra to like meet with him on the side. And I get that they're trying to make it work. I just don't see it working. Maybe he turns it on second half of the season, but it's just an
There's been
impossible.
plenty of people that have won the Heisman in college football and didn't have NFL careers.
Yeah.
They didn't have good NFL careers.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter what you do in college, you don't get to go to the next level and be like, hey, here's my resume. Here's the respect I want. Here's what we're going to do with me. It's like, no, dude, you're a scrub like everybody else again. There was people in college who managed to have good days against Travis Hunter. Everybody on the field is just as good as that guy, if not better.
Yeah. And the thing about Travis Hunter is this is another thing that it's like hard to explain to people. Travis Hunter is good at man-to-man coverage. He can play it. Not his bread and butter. Travis Hunter is a eyes on the quarterback zone corner. You want Travis Hunter plays the a cover two flat as good as any corner I've ever seen play a cover two flat.
Yeah. He's
You know
he
what the
that's
problem with that is?
instinctual. It's like he reads that quarterback so quick and
Oh
so
yeah.
easy that he's able to make great
You
plays.
know what the problem with that is, Devin? Guess how many teams run cover two anymore? Damn near none of them. It's cover three, match coverage or cloud coverage, or bust. And if they're running cover two, it's some type of fire zone near the goal line. So you have a very limited number of plays where you can Tampa two corners back when Tony Dungy was a defensive coordinator in the early 2000s, late 90s. Tampa two cornerbacks, that was their bread and butter years. They were going to make a lot of money if you could play Tampa two really well, which is playing flat and being able to drop into the gaps and cover space. But you didn't have to worry about getting beat up top. Like that was the whole point. You were going to get beat up top. You're playing cover two. You're playing a flat zone.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Yeah. They got it. And it's not like I don't think he's a bad player or anything, but I think I think you nailed it. You're sabotaging your own development by trying to do both at the same time.
precisely.
Get really good at one side. And then when you got that down, hey,
We'll
what's
talk
going on?
about the other side when you
Yeah.
have when you're on your fourth head coach. Moving forward. Um, yeah, so in this game, Jaguars versus Texans. I have the Texans. I think Texans rebound. The Texans have some offensive line struggles. Texans have Tank Dell's hurt right now, so that's hurting their receiving game. CJ Stroud did not look good against the Bucks. He looked okay, but the Bucks defense is mighty, so I understand it. But I think the Texans rebound. It's a division rival, so I think that they lock it in and get the W against the Jaguars.
Um, Funny enough, we keep picking the same teams, or not we keep picking the same teams, but this is the third week in a row we've had the Jaguars up. I'm gonna take the Jaguars. I think they're gonna have their bounce back this week. I think the Jaguars are gonna take it.
Yeah. Yeah. The only reason I picked the Jaguars is because the Texans. We hadn't picked a Texans game yet. Technically, we hadn't because I don't know if I counted the Monday night game last week. Anyway,
I counted it for our records.
oh, but never mind. I shouldn't have picked this game. I don't know why I picked this game. I'm gonna hate myself for the rest of my life. I'm kidding. The
You
next
don't need
game
to
we're gonna
belong
go
to
to
hate yourself.
is Broncos, Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking the Chargers. I think the Chargers are incredible. So I'm gonna go Chargers. I don't think the Broncos are bad, but I'm picking the Chargers.
Chargers are my favorite to win the AFC. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers.
Yeah. I think that I honestly could see the Chiefs not making the playoffs this year.
That might be tough. It's still Andy Reid.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it will happen. I'm saying I could see it happening. There's a world like if you asked me that 2 years ago, I was like, "There's no world where the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, barring
Right.
like an asteroid hits Patrick Mahomes' car on his way to work." Um, the next one, Lions Ravens. Lions got a little bit of revenge on Ben Johnson. I don't know why it was revenge. I feel like they were mad at him for the Lions are mad at him, Ben Johnson, for no reason.
Hey, did you
And
see how we
it's
sucked against Green Bay? It's because you left, man. Fuck you.
you said what?
It's they're mad that they sucked against Green Bay, so they took it out on him.
Oh
They
yeah,
blamed him for sucking.
and I don't know if Caleb Williams is going to be what they thought Caleb Williams was going to be, but we'll see. He has some time to develop. He has made some good plays this year, better than he was last year,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he will continue that. So yeah, I'm taking the Ravens because Lamar Jackson is a god.
I want to pick the Ravens too. Ravens lost to Buffalo last week in stupid fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that was two big dogs meeting in the middle and fighting it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Ravens are a little bit more consistent. So oh man.
I think this game's going to be like a barn burner to help you out maybe a little bit. I think it's going to be a barn burner. And when there's a barn burner on the line, I err on the side of the Ravens unless they're playing Josh Allen.
Yeah. Ravens got home field. I'm gonna take the Ravens.
I think that's a good call. I think that's a good call. Clearly, I picked them. That's our NFL picks. We're going to move on to the next segment. Tailgate. Did we go to a tailgate this week, Devin?
Hell no.
So people are probably saying, how could you talk about a tailgate that you didn't go to? It's because we're going to talk about our top 5 tailgate foods. Devin has a list. Maybe.
Oh, I have a list. I was thinking about it right now.
Devin has a list in his brain, in the depths of his brain. And I have a list. And my list is going to be different from Devin's list, and that's okay.
Yep.
I want to preface this. This doesn't mean that this is everyone's top 5 tailgate foods. It's if I was going to make my ideal tailgate, this is the foods I would have at this tailgate. Things that I can make, maybe not. Things that we can make, maybe. It just depends on what you want. So let's get into it. I'm going to start. You want to go 5-1?
Let's go 5-1. Yeah, I'm still honestly struggling on what my 5 is because I got my 4.
Maybe this will help you. My 5 on tailgate foods. This one's not going to help you at all because there's no way. This is coming out of left field. It's something that I make, Devin. It's actually something that I make, but it's my 5 because it's out of the blue. But it might be better than that because you can make it. You can whatever you like, you can make it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And my 5 is Rangoons. The Goons. Listen. Barbecue chicken ragoons. Buffalo chicken ragoons. Crab rangoons.
All right, I need you to send me a recipe so I can test this out when I have Raymond on the podcast.
By the way, I have 14 goon recipes. You can't say goon anymore. Someone really
You
knows
say it like that.
You can't.
Peyton's working at the pot. Peyton's working at the table, getting ready for the tailgate. I've been gooning all day. It's like, stop. You can't say that.
I used to call myself the Goon Lord. That can't call myself that anymore.
No, no, that
I have like
is
14 different recipes. You can make dessert ones if you wanted to. And
fucking.
it fits the mold, Devin. Listen, it fits the mold.
But are you making the goons
That's
at the tailgate?
you can. All you need is a deep fryer.
All right, let's. It's under official review. All right, we'll come back to this at some point.
Yeah, yeah. It's my five. This is my list. It's my five.
This is your five.
This is
Oh man.
this. Go for it. Your turn. Your turn. Your turn.
Uh, Number five, hot dog.
That's respectable. That's respectable.
So what?
I said that's respectable. It's
Hot
classic.
dog's number five.
It's safe.
It's slap a hot dog on the grill. You get it hot. Maybe toast that bun, little ketchup, little mustard, wherever you want. Relish if you got it. Hot dog, easy to go. Boom.
Chili. You can throw chili on it. Anyway,
Look, man, you put your hot dog however you want. Hot dog is at number five.
speaking of hot dogs, what goes great on hot dogs? Chili. My number four is
Chili,
chili.
number four. Number four.
And here's why, Devin. Some people will sit there and be like, you can't do this and this with chili. But you know what you can do? This, and you drink it. You're welcome, team. Chili
Wow.
number four.
That's incredible.
It's a prep game, though. So the thing with chili, right, is it's a cold weather tailgate food. So it takes it. You can't have chili opening week.
If I walked up to somebody at the tailgate, any of the two tailgates we went the last 2 weeks or the ones I went to, and someone's like, "You want a bowl of chili?" I'd be like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go ahead and take that license. I'm gonna call the police. Public
I'm calling the
intoxication is a real
cops.
thing.
I'm
I'm
making
calling the police.
I'm
You
calling
need to go
tickets.
home.
Yeah.
Don't come back. We're done."
What the hell? But
My
like,
wife, my wife came up to me like, "It's September. Oh my God, it's fall's coming. We can start doing chili soon." I'm like, if you try to make chili and it is not it getting down to at least 50 degrees outside, if it's above 50, I'm gonna fight you or we'll get divorced. I don't care how many kidneys you give me. I'll divorce you for making chili and it's not cold outside.
it's
So
and imagine if we were at the UTRGV tailgate and we walked by and they're like, "Hey, we're selling chili." I would have firebombed that person's setup. I'm not joking. That's insane. But it's the reason it's at four is it's because it's a seasonal tailgate event. Like you can't year round you can't be making chili at the tailgate. But when it's chili season, maybe nothing hits harder.
I like that. I think that's a great pick.
Yeah.
It's much more realistic pick than fucking
No.
gooning the
First
whole
of all,
tailgate.
you don't know what you're talking about. You've never made the goons.
Look, send me the fucking recipe. I'll figure this shit out.
Oh, I'm gonna
My
send you
number
the recipe.
four, my number four, and it's gonna be like that's not very inspired. And a lot of these are very similar, but there's differences. My number four is the sausage wrap. Sausage,
That's
tortilla, more meat, less bread, better tailgate for me. All
tortillas
right.
taste better than buns too.
I like a crispy tortilla better. You can put literally, and this is complete people's mind. You can put the exact same shit you put on the hot dog on the tortilla. You're just gonna get more meat to bread ratio.
I am a sadly to say I am a ketchup on a sausage wrap guy. I will eat a sausage wrap with ketchup, and people call me that blasphemous, but I'll do it.
No, I mean, look, I'm not gonna do it. Like my base is like mustard, but you can get crazy with it. But I'm not gonna get mad at you. Put ketchup on there. If ketchup is your thing, put some ketchup on there. That's fine. All right, but sausage wrap is number.
I've been in fistfights over this. I'm just joking. My number
Someone's
three.
gonna be outside my house tonight. Be like, what the fuck?
My number three, and there's a specific event that I think of the reason it's my number three. There's a specific event that I think of, a specific tailgate, a specific day in the year that's near and dear to me, near and dear to you. Is my number three is corn dogs. Because when you go to the Texas State Fair to watch OU Texas, and you get a massive corn dog, and you eat about seven of those things, and then you go into the game and you chug 15 beers. And yeah, you're bursting at the seams. But that's just like, it's that corn dog experience is one of the greatest corn dog experiences.
The Texas State Fair corny dog is an experience in itself.
It is.
I can respect that pick.
Yeah. And I love corn dogs. So corn dogs is one of my favorite foods. I do have the taste buds of a toddler. I'll accept that. But corn dogs is one of my favorite foods, and I love them. And for that reason, I'm gonna put that on my top 5. Because again, guys, you guys have to realize it's this and it's this. If it can fit the mold, it works, and I will make my foods fit the mold. I digress.
My number 3, however you want it, cheese or no, but the hamburger.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
You're loading up the hamburger, bring your grill, you put the fresh meat on, you're toasting your buns. You can pre-slice your veggies. You don't even have to do that there. Just slice up some veggies. You go to H-E-B and buy them already pre-sliced right now, although they give you a ton of onion and lettuce and not nearly enough tomato, so bring some more tomato.
Yep.
That's an easy one. You just build up your plate, and then you're standing there.
Okay, I get it. So I'll say this about, I really could make a top 10, and I would love this, but my number 2 is the hamburger, but it was between the hamburger and the hot dog. I have a different thing for my number 1, not any of those, but I decided to go hamburger because I just feel like I like a corn dog is just my favorite version of a wiener that I hold, you know?
What do you
Hey,
say?
it is. It's the corn dog. There's a sausage wrap, there's a hot dog, there's a corn dog. I decided that I would only pick one of those. I picked the corn dog.
Oh, man. I picked the sausage wrap and the hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, I get it and I respect that. But I decided that I would only pick one. I'm going hamburger for all the reasons you said at my number 2.
My number 2, fajitas.
Oh,
You're doing chicken, you're doing beef, hot grill. You put some bell peppers and onions, get those going on the side. You get your tortillas, fry them up, get them crispy. Boom, slap it all on there. Get some salsa, cheese, whatever you want to put on there. Taco, however you want to hold it. Beer. Fresh fajitas at the tailgate, slap.
I imagine. Very good. My number 1, and this may not be like the most tailgate oriented.
You mean like fucking ragoons?
No, first of all, you're mad because I'm a wild card. Because I'm coming outside the box. You're mad because I'm bringing strong safety blitzes on first down. That's the energy I'm bringing to this podcast. I'm blitzing. No, I'm bringing my freaking free safety down from 12 yards deep. He's blitzing up the middle at your center, and you're gonna have to try and stop him. You're mad because of that. And guess what? Now it's 2nd and 15. You're behind the ball. I'm ahead because I'm a wild card, Devin, and that's why I'm bringing in the chopped barbecue sandwich. It doesn't matter if it's pulled pork. It doesn't matter if it's brisket. All that matters is that it's chopped and it's barbecue and it's got onions on it. Because if it doesn't have onions, I will fight you.
What about pickles?
Pickles are optional. Some people don't like pickles. I just think onions are mandatory in this regard.
I like that pick. I think that's a great pick. That takes a lot of prep time, though. That can be difficult for a tailgate, what you're asking here.
Yeah, if you're a coward.
Not if you're a cow.
A coward.
A coward. Yeah. No. So either you're there the night before, considering that most tailgate parking lots don't open until 5 hours before the game, you're going to be struggling to get that pulled pork or chopped brisket.
I'll park
so
on
you're
the
cooking
street.
the night before.
I'll park on the street.
What?
I'll park on the street.
Park on the street. I don't know if they're going to let you run the barbecue pit on the street. But I'll give you credit for the effort.
If the cop's trying to stop me, I'll shoot at him. Tell me you want it more than me. Tell me you want. Nobody wants.
think most cops are like, yeah, there's a disgruntled veteran. He's going to take some people out. And I think that's like the
Really
right
mad
choice.
about barbecue sandwiches. I'm just kidding.
He's
I would
really
never
mad
do
about
that.
barbecue sandwiches. He says he's going to take a bunch of people with him if they're not going to let him barbecue in this
I
tree.
mean, I do acknowledge that this does take more prep time. It's something you're gonna have to start at home and bring it. But I think that the flavor of barbecue is worth the risk. But
Worth
also, if it's a night game and you do a pork, you could get there early. Like you could like if remember when we went to the UTRGV game, we showed up and there's trucks that had been there for a long time already barbecuing.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what their situation was, how they got in there like on time, because like where they parked, they
They
had
opened
something
up.
going on.
Yeah, they
I will
opened
say,
up at 12. They
say
opened up at
what?
12 or they opened up at 11 because they're like, oh, we're gonna open up at 11 so all these people can get in here and start doing it their way, you know. So
Right.
if you have the accommodations for a night game, I
Well,
there was not a food that I would rather eat at a tailgate than a barbecue chops, you know, or chopped
well,
barbecue.
if your brisket's taken, like the fact, I think the fastest I've ever had a brisket cook, and it was a small brisket, was like 10 hours, 9, 10
Yeah,
hours.
the brisket is a
Pulled, pulled pork is like 9, 10 hours.
yeah.
Unless you crank the heat super high and you get it in foil super quick and you just fucking burn that motherfucker and you end up having to chop it, not necessarily pull it, you're still pretty tight on time. So I'm
Yeah, that's
not
true.
sure we're necessarily sure where you're getting your pork or your beef from, but I think
No,
you're gonna need.
this is a if all conditions are right, you can cook it at the venue, but you have to have prep time. But
Now, if you had the opportunity where your RV, you're parking an RV overnight, and you could start at like 4 o'clock in the morning for even like a mid game, like a 3 o'clock game, you got a shot.
yeah, like a game day environment where they go to the game day set, you know, and it's like 3 o'clock the day before and they're all there. That's like where you would do this the best. But really, for me in this situation, this I don't care if it's prepped at home and brought, as long as it's chopped at the facility.
I can agree with that.
Okay, you're number
My
one.
number one, the best tailgate food, and it's not a question. All right, this beats all of them.
Is a question.
It's the beer brought with onions.
That is really good. I was thinking about putting that in there, but I decided corn dog instead. All of these were really good decisions.
Yeah,
Damn.
beer brought. You get your brat, you put it in the beer, and you put the beer on the fire. Okay,
Mhm.
you throw a bunch of onions in there. A bunch of onions. Now, preferably the beer that you're going to be doing this should be the beer you are drinking. Sometimes I will buy a fancier beer than I am drinking to put the brats in.
You do like Sam Adams.
I'll do like if I'm drinking like, I mean, it doesn't have to be super complicated. It'd be like Shiner Bock, which isn't necessarily fancy, but a Shiner Bock is a very good beer. But I'm drinking something a little bit cheaper than that,
Natty
something like
Light.
that.
You're chugging
Yeah,
Natty Lights and you're fucking.
yeah, I'm hitting cheap and light. I'm trying to stay up, but I'll cook it in some Shiner Bock.
I'll slam
A lot
like
of
10
onions.
shiners and be good personally.
You put it in there, and you're gonna basically let them kind of boil in there. You don't want to do like cheese brats; just do straight up beer brats. And those onions will get soft, and then when they're just about done, you pull them out and you put them directly on the fire, and you get your grill marks, and you get them crispy on the outside.
Yep.
Toast your bun, put the onions with the pull the onions out of the beer, put that on top of your hot dog, cover it with mustard. It's the best thing to eat when you're watching football
Yeah. I don't think it's the best, obviously. But I
because it
do
wasn't on your fucking list.
yeah, but I do think that it's great. Like, but my top five could have been 30 long, 30 deep. Like I have depth. Like you're not running the ball on the inside against me. Again, I'm telling you, I'm coming with wild cards and I have depth.
My picks are so strong
Your picks
that I
are
am going to
classic.
run it inside because I have the talent to overwhelm your kooky schemes.
So here's what I'll
Okay.
say, Devin. You have your picks are classic. My picks win championships. Um anyway,
Well,
you
one of your picks doesn't even show up until it gets below 50 degrees outside. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
oh, sorry. Sorry, I have a barefoot kicker. Like it's 1980. I like old. I'm bringing back some old school with a little new school, with a little more
You're
old
bringing
school.
like the worst parts of old school back.
Yeah, that's fair.
The team would win a conference championship in the MAC. How about that? Because it's
You
already
say
raining and
that, Devin.
snowing.
You say that until I start running goal line defense all the time and winning games. Anyway, um, yeah, that's. I mean, your list was classic. My list was a little outside the box, but
You
again,
put fucking Rangoon.
you say that, and then you're gonna eat them, and you're like, all right, this is kind of gas. Like,
I hope it better be fucking good. All
yeah,
right. Don't
don't worry,
embarrass
don't
me
worry,
and my family on this podcast like this.
don't worry. I it won't embarrass you. Barbecue chicken ragoons with like a jalapeno popper ragoons. Like, get the fuck out. Like. The thing with ragoons is it's so versatile. That's why you throw it on there. Like, anyway, that being said, okay, those were our lists. My top five, Devin's top five. Um, put your list, top five tailgate foods down below. Tell us what you think of our list. I'm pretty sure I know what people are going to think of my list. They're going to be like, this guy, is he the Antichrist? Um, And yeah, again, please talk college football to us. Like, comment, do all those things. We really appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is episode 6. No, last week was episode 5.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
This is episode 6. We're doing it. We're doing this thing. It's episode 6. Again,
Cut that part.
we really appreciate everybody. Um, we'll see you guys next week. We might actually, just so you guys know, before we head out, me and Devin are going to be talking about changing up our recording schedule to maybe moving this to have a moving the post games, the pre the yeah, the post game stuff where we talk about the games of last week to earlier in the week and moving the pre game stuff to later in the week. We got to work that out, but it is something we will talk about.
You
And
got to work.
then, yeah, I'll work
Um,
it. Anything?
I agree with everything you just said. Besides Ragoons, that's a fucking crazy pick, man. All right. I'm not gonna get over that. I'm gonna remember that.
Until you have it, and then you're gonna be like, I could see this working out.
I'm gonna make it on the podcast. All right. You're gonna be out of town. I'm gonna make fucking Ragoon. I'm like, hey, I got 14 fucking recipes. And we're gonna eat all of them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna send them to you. All right. This has been Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, episode 6. We will see you guys next week after we picked all the games wrong again. Thank
Yep.
you guys.